Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretical Tarot. My name is Liz. I will be guiding you on this journey today. I haven't even actually chosen a deck. I just, the energy was available for me to make this little intro. I'm like, am I going to be an intro girly? Yeah, for the time being. At least for this series of readings, there is going to be an intro. I want to set intentions at the beginning, or at least share with you my intention that I always have for every single reading that I do, whether it's on YouTube or one-on-one personal readings. I am not psychic. I am not claiming to be. I do know these cards. And my intention is for the message to come through me, not from me. For your highest good, for my highest good. We're just two friends reading tarot together. So anyway, I do also try to share the meaning of each card because you have your own intuition, and obviously you're the person that's involved in your own life, right? So I share the meaning of each card so that you can discern, you can listen to your own guidance around each card for sorry, I closed my eyes and all of a sudden I got lost. I am naturally a blonde. I immediately heard blonde moment. Anyway, I closed my eyes and I got lost. Bro. Anyway, okay. So yeah, you have your own intuition. You're the one, right, that's involved in your own life. I want you to know the meanings of each card so that you can also receive your own message, right? Listen to yourself. The whole reason I even give tarot readings is for you to return to yourself, for you to listen to yourself, which is why I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know already, right? I'm more than likely confirming or affirming things for you. No doubt your intuition is see, told you. But also, I do think that is important. I think that's an important part because once you know for sure, right? Once you have that confirmation, it's that you can free up the energy for what's next. You have confirmation. Now what? Right? Now what? So I haven't even really chosen a deck yet. Did I say that? This is a deck that I was thinking of in my mind's eye. Let's see if it even wants to do the reading or not. Do you want to do the tarot readings? Yeah, okay. That was the Ace of Cups. I do that for every reading too. Consent over here. Is there anything else that I wanted to say? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would absolutely love it if you did, because honestly, community is becoming a big thing for me in what's next for me. So let's get on to the reading. Great. So this is a reading for the 6-2 Human Design Profile, the Role Model Hermit. If you don't know your Human Design Profile, there's a link in the description for you to get your Human Design Body Graph, and your profile will be listed on there. You don't have to know a single thing about human design in order for this message to resonate. This really is meant to be, just an additional source of information, an additional avenue for a message. Highly recommend checking out Human Design, though, if you are unfamiliar. What else? I feel like I'm maybe missing some. I love that for a start. We have the Sun card. What about it? That is way too many cards. Is it? Let's see. Yeah, it's 5 cards. We'll take it. We'll kind of put the sun at the top there. Queen of Cups. Ace of Wands. 5 of Wands. Knight of Wands. 4 of Wands. Look at all this. The Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. We might have enough cards out here, but okay, let me I know that there's like a glare over here. I wonder if that would help. Let's see. It's as far as I can push that. So there. That's better. Look at all these wands. Look at all this fire energy. I mean, like, you could be fire heavy. You don't have to be, of course. But we have 1 Cups card. That's like, it feels like pouring a glass of water on a campfire. Like, it's just not gonna, all it's gonna do is just sizzle a little bit, you know, like it's just gonna create steam, which actually, the steam aspect, saunas, you know, like exfoliating, detoxifying. Interesting where that went. But okay, so we start with the Sun card. And I love that, like, the Sun card kind of came out by itself. It's like this overall energy here. And the Sun card is basically everything good. Joy, bliss, you know, your happy place. I also, anytime the sun comes out too, I always kind of give like a little spiel about getting vitamin D. So yeah, you know, if it's accessible, get outside, get some vitamin D. It's super cloudy and foggy here today, but you know, I've also been trying to like just make a conscious effort to sit outside for, you know, 10-15 minutes a day, especially in those times where I'm like giving my brain a break and I'm scrolling on my phone, especially too in the morning, because, you know, I just kind of mosey around, I make my matcha latte, and I'm going to scroll on my phone anyway. So I've been trying to make myself do that outside if it's not cold and if the sun is out. But yeah, so anyway, you know, the sun also talks about life and like giving life, rebirth. Because truly, right? I mean, like, we wouldn't even exist if we weren't in this proximity to the sun. So you could even just be in proximity to something that would bring you happiness or that would make you happy, you know, whether it's a person, place, or thing, you know, whatever noun that is for you. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's even too just something that you actually do want to go after. You know, we see that a lot in the wands down here. It's kind of interesting, you know, there's these 2 characters on this card, right? There's a female energy, there's a male energy, or like feminine energy, masculine energy. And of course, like, that could be people. You know, it could be you and somebody of the, you know, somebody that you are in relation with in whatever capacity that is, you know, like romantic, platonic, business, whatever. Again, it could just be the energies of the thing. Like the feminine energy is nurturing, intuitive, receiving, also birthing or creation. But, I mean, obviously, not necessarily biological reproduction. It certainly can be. But, just literally creating something out of your own image. The masculine energy would be initiating, going for it, taking charge, right? Like being an authority. And it's interesting that they are like looking at each other. I was going to say facing off. It doesn't necessarily feel like facing off, but also like the middle card of these 5 cards is the 5 of Wands, which is a bit of a face off kind of card. It's interesting. I mean, you really could even just be playing with, those two energies within yourself, because obviously, I mean, no matter what gender we are, we all have masculine and feminine energies. And sometimes they work well together. And sometimes, they're a little out of balance, or one is taking over more than the other, or you're using one energy more than the other. Which is, the way that it's supposed to be anyway, right? I mean, like you kind of go for it, put yourself out there, initiate, and then it's, the energy of the feminine receiving and allowing the energy to come to you. Obviously, too, since we are talking human design, your strategy and authority would come into play with this. But also what is interesting is that we have one card that has the feminine aspect on it, and we have one card that has the masculine aspect on it down here, right? And they're different elements, but also they're like looking away from each other. So in the Sun card, they're looking at each other. These 5 cards down here, they're looking away from each other, which is interesting. And also that they're looking in the opposite direction than they are on the Sun card. I feel like that matters. I don't know. Now, the left side of the card is the past. The right side of the card is the future. So with the Queen of Cups, that feels like healing something from the past. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about things, like how experiences live in our emotional body, the emotional attachments that we have to things, our emotional maturity. I mean, how many times am I going to say the word emotional, right? How are you expressing your emotions? What is your relationship to love with yourself, with others? How do you give love? How do you show it? More importantly, though, how do you receive love? Like, what is your relationship to receiving love? Because I think a lot of us have an easier time, showing support for others, showing up for others, right? Like being an emotional support for others. But when it comes to receiving that, or even understanding too, like how you want to be given it, right? Like, that's kind of where we start stuttering a little bit. And I see the queens as being like when we embody the energy of the suit ourselves, we recognize the energy within ourselves, we give that energy to ourselves, right? It's like learning how to master it. This is the point of healing. This is being, deep in your own subconscious, unpacking all of that. It's a little bit like being up on the roof, really. And like I said, since she is looking to the left side of the card, this to me feels like there's something from the past, regardless of how near or far that past is, right? I mean, it could be yesterday. It could be this morning. It could have been a month, a year, 10 years, whatever, you know. But there is a sense of healing there. There's also even too like receiving the lesson. Like, what is it that you took from it? And again, you know, that emotional maturity. Compassion, empathy, grace, right? Like giving all of that to yourself, but also even recognizing like how important that is to the healing journey. Also, though, I mean, they have their back towards this Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is like, you know, it's that spark. It's something new, something exciting, something creative. It's, you know, that thing that you actually do want to take action towards. And it's also coming from the future. It's coming from the right side of the card. So it's interesting because like if your attention is on the past, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, you know, because truly the things that happened to us in the past are, you know, the where we got kind of like emotionally stunted, or, you know, just even where our feelings reside, right? That can prevent us from seeing anything that moves us forward. So there's like nothing wrong with like, you know, focusing on the past in order to release it, right? Like in order to move it out of the way. But again, right? I mean, there is this thing coming from the future. This could be coming up. This could be already in your awareness. Again, you know, just something that you are excited about, something that you do want to pour your energy in, take action towards, that you want to try. And then right next to that is the Five of Wands. And like I said, like it is a bit of a conflict or a kind of standoff card. There's 5 different hands in this, right? Like there's 5 Ace of Wands in this card. Every single person is holding their own Ace of Wands. So maybe there's too many cooks and not enough chefs, or what's that saying? Like, like there's too many ideas or things to put energy towards. Also, too, with the Five of Wands, I always think of Mulan. Now, before I even go into like my little Mulan spiel, it doesn't even look like these people are actually in conflict. It just looks like they're holding, like they're putting in their wand. It feels almost like drawing straws too. And maybe this energy, like there you I kind of get this like FOMO feeling, or like feeling left out, because maybe you didn't have a horse in the race, right? Like now all of a sudden, like all these metaphors or like analogies are like dropping into my mind. And maybe for a time you didn't even want to have a horse in the race, right? But now you do. now all of a sudden, this horse is being dropped into your lap. And again, this is just a metaphor, right? Like, because, and the reason why I'm saying that is because, right, there's these 5 different people in here, and they're all holding their own Ace of Wands, right? And now you have an Ace of Wands also. But there's this feeling over here with the Queen of Wands or Queen of Cups having her back towards it's almost like either you have been waiting for the thing that feels good. Maybe you've been hermiting out, right? With that second line. And this is a thing that's going to draw you out. Now, the story with Mulan here, right? Like, and how it relates to the 5 of Wands. Now, in Mulan, right, they all show up to warrior training. Please tell me you've seen Mulan. Like, if you haven't, I'll watch it with you because I fucking love Mulan. Both of them, the cartoon and the live action. Honestly, I think they did a great job with the live action. I don't usually watch those, but I thought they did a good job with Mulan. Even though they were missing Mushu. But yeah, so they show up to warrior training, super arrogant, right? Cocky, like, nobody's really working together. Everybody's just like, kind of showing their feathers, right? But by like being forced to be in proximity with the other, they build a rapport. This is the thing of like too many cooks and not enough chefs. Everybody is like, we should do this, right? Like, but it's all like everybody has a different idea of what this is. Like, because again, right, they're all showing up with their own Ace of Wands. And they want to do what their Ace of Wands is guiding them to do, or the thing that is exciting them, right? But everybody wants to do their own thing. Like, somebody needs to compromise, right? Like, you can get around to doing everybody's thing. And again, it almost does feel like drawing straws. And what's interesting is that right next to that is the Knight of Wands. Again, they're holding the Ace of Wands here, right? This actually really feels like separating yourself from the pack. Like, again, right? Not having a horse in the race for forever. These are all the people that have already had a horse in the race, or they do have a horse in the race, right? And it's almost kind of like as soon as you get that horse, you don't even want to put it in that race anymore. You're like, you know what? It's a trail horse. It's not even a race horse. Whatever. Like I hope you're picking up what I'm dropping here. Because it really does like feel like what you thought it was going to be. And maybe it's through the healing process that you've been going through, right? Like what you thought was going to excite you, or the thing that you thought you wanted to be involved in or a part of. Maybe there was like some conflict in there in some capacity. Also too, I mean, 5s are transitionary energies, right? Like it really is like, it's supposed to get you from point A to point B. Like they're not anything to get stuck in. So there is a lot of information in here. And the 5 of Wands too, like it sets you up for success. That success comes with the 6 of Wands, which I know we don't have out here. But even like going through this process, right? Like maybe you figured out like, oh, that's not what I thought that it was, which is very Wands energy too, because you have to try a thing in order to even figure out if you like the thing or not. Like, does it fit or not? Does it work or not? You have to try. And you get information that way, right? Like, and then like I said, with this Knight of Wands, it almost kind of seems like now they have turned their back to this 5 of Wands, or like, honestly, it's crowded in there. And I don't want to do any of those things. None of those things interest me at all. I thought by bringing my own wand in here that would make a difference. It did not. So now I'm going to set off on my own journey because my focus, my goal is on the Four of Wands. Let me move the Hierophant out of here for a sec. Because now they are focused on the Four of Wands. Because really, like if we put the Sun card over here, right, the Queen of Cups is looking at the Sun card. Like they're looking at what is going to make me happy, right? Like what is going to bring me emotional fulfillment? What feels good for me? And maybe that was partnership in some aspect, right? Like maybe there was a thing of like not being able to do it on your own or not being able to feel a certain way on your own. And there is this healing that you're doing surrounding that story. There's this new thing that's coming in. But it's probably going to be different. It's going to look different. You're going to take different action than, like, it's like you're not going to be part of the flock. You're not going to be part of the herd. You look at the herd and you're like, nah, that's not it anymore. And you're like, okay, so what is it that I do actually want to put energy into, actions I want to take, right? And then we have this Four of Wands over here, which is harmony, unity, stability, having a foundation. I also love how in this Four of Wands, this almost looks like a window to me. This also, like the Four of Wands looks like 1111, which does equal 4, right? So that tracks. But we can see this castle on top of this mountain here. It's like truly, what is it that you are trying to build here? What is a foundation that you are trying to set? What does bring you a sense of security? And what is also interesting is that this is sometimes like the marriage card, because again, it does, unions. There is usually a couple on here, but it's a celebration card. It's also, the actions that you have taken, the actions that you are going to take will lead you to, or will be motivated by this goal, this vision. So yeah, it feels like there's been a change here. Or if it hasn't changed, it could even be getting clear on what this vision is for you. Like, again, anything Sun card, what is the vision here for you? And this would be the taking action towards it, allowing it to change, fighting for it even too. We have the Hierophant, Five of Swords, sorry. High Priestess, Temperance. I feel like we might just kind of skim through these because I don't want this to be super duper long. The Hierophant is tradition. And especially with it being between the Sun card and the Queen of Cups, you could be considering what has been traditional, whether within your family, your culture, your peer group, right? I mean, it's really kind of like what was taught to you, like what was instilled in you or indoctrinated to. We have the Five of Swords between the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Wands. There's this one figure that's holding 3 swords and these 2 back here that are defeated. It almost kind of feels like this Hierophant. Like, how am I trying to say that? Even like, look at the sunset here. And we have the Sun card out. Can you see that? Right? Like the sunset there. And it's between the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Okay. I'm like, why can't I get this out of my mouth? It's almost like blocking blessings, or like something has been thwarting, preventing, blocking this Ace of Wands. It could be a belief. Swords have to do with our mind. It could be your mindset. It could be your outlook on things. It could be just like your level of understanding. Again, it could be the traditions that you were raised with, or the indoctrination. I was kind of like, ooh, that's kind of a word that I don't use very often with the Hierophant, so it's kind of interesting that it even came out of my mouth. But that could be this figure here. Again, a belief. It could be a story that you have attached to something, right? Because also swords have to do with our ego. And it's, preventing or getting in the way of, or even controlling what this Ace of Wands is. We have the Hierophant, the High Priestess, between the Ace of Wands and the Five of Wands. The High Priestess is fate. It's, being in tune with your star player, your higher self, your intuition. It could, of course, be God, source, divine, whatever, of course, your belief is. There's even, a mysterious element or secrets involved with the High Priestess, which would be found, like you would find those within yourself. And the last thing that I'll say about the High Priestess too is, it's like the book of your life. She's holding this scroll here, which to me is like where the fate aspect, or, being in the right place in your life, like whatever you were coming up against right now, that is exactly where you need to be. Temperance here. This is Taurus, the Hierophant. The High Priestess is Cancer or Pisces. The Temperance card is Sagittarius. The Sun card is Leo. If any of those, they don't have to fit. But Temperance is alchemy. It's blending together energies. Things changing. Right? It's like turning water to wine. It changes elements, like it changes properties, right? Which is interesting that it's between the Five of Wands and the Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands feels like they are changing trajectories. They are changing course, right? Which is also very part of the process. Like things change, things morph, things evolve, let them. The Six of Cups is, again, a card of the past. Nostalgia, inner child. It could be a dream that you had when you were a kid. It could be a goal that you had when you were a kid. And now you're like, you know what? Now I have the freedom to choose, because more than likely you're an adult watching this. And truly, you can make your life whatever you want. You could have whatever goals that you want. You could put your energy into those things. The Star card at the bottom now. The Ace of Swords behind that. The Star card is hopes and dreams. Trusting the process. Manifesting. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.